What is up, everybody? Welcome to the dungeon. I'm here to bring you your weekly tarot reading. My niche readings are general and they may not resonate with everybody. What I will be doing is I will be pulling one card for each zodiac sign for the general energy, and then I'll pull another card for the love energy of the next week. I like to do both because everybody wants to know about love, but not everybody has love in their life. So I like to take both into consideration. Let's go ahead and get started with my dear, not so sweet Aries. All right, what is going on with Aries over the next week? What kind of energy will Aries encounter over the next week and how will it affect them? What's going on with Aries? Aries, you have the Hangman. So right now, things that may not seem to be making much progress in your life. Very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. If you haven't already, you need to see things from a different perspective. Once you're able to do this, you'll be able to gain a better understanding on the situation, and I think that will allow you to regain forward momentum. But until you have this understanding, I think you're probably going to continue to be stuck. So let's see what's going on in your love life, Aries. What is going on in Aries' love life? I just need one card, not half the deck. All right, let's get a card for Aries' love life. What's going on in Aries' love life over the next week? Aries, you have the Justice card. So right now, it's time to make a decision in regards to your relationship. This could be, just any major decision that you have to make together as a couple. But this could also be deciding whether or not you want to stay in a relationship, whether or not you want to commit, if you're just dating. Just kind of giving that final answer. When it comes to being single, you're coming to a place where you've got to make the decision to walk away from this situation. There's not much going on right now, and there's not a lot you can do about it. So it's kind of like if you've been thinking like crazy about things, it's going to get to a point where you have to decide when the limit is, when it's too much, because it will get there and you need to shut it down, basically. So trying to deal with these struggles that you have in regards to the past history of your relationships, not necessarily just this one, just your experience in your love life in general. It's like you got to let go of the negativity that you may be holding on to from what happened, or the negativity, that you experienced from the other party. It's time to let go. It's time to let go so you can move on to the next period of your life. If you're in a relationship and you guys have issues, it's time to let that shit go. It's going to get in the way. You won't be able to work through things if you're hanging on to the past, All right, let's move on to Taurus. What's going on with my Taurinians this week? What is going on with Taurus over the next week? What kind of energy will Taurus encounter over the next week? What's up with Taurus? Taurus, you have the Three of Pentacles. So just in general, you may be working with other people, collaborating with other people to create something of value. You would definitely benefit from teamwork at the time. So even if you are the type of person that likes to do it all by yourself, because, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself, right? That actually would not be conducive. That will not be helpful You'll actually be shooting yourself in the foot by doing that in this current situation. You would, I mean, this is not saying you wouldn't be able to pull it off. You would just be able to pull it off more successfully with the assistance of others. Or not necessarily just the assistance, but the input, you know? Um, it's one thing to have people help you do things. It's another thing to have people help you come up with the ideas and the actual meat and potatoes of what's going on. However, in some situations, you may be having a difficult time working with other people, be it, them causing drama, or, you just being a very sensitive person, and just the type of person they are just irks you. It may be difficult to work with some people, but at the same time, it's like you're you're better together than you are on your own. It makes me think about like when musicians will go out on solo careers. Um, if they are good, they will be amazing. Dax Riggs, you rock no matter what you do. But it's like when a musician will go solo and it won't be that great. It won't be that great because they have different musicians playing behind them. The energy changes. It all changes. It's why, like, if there's a band that replaces a member, it changes the energy. It's not quite the same, and you don't produce the exact same work. So that's what's going on here. You won't produce the exact same quality of work unless you let people help you. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Taurus. What is going on in your love life, Taurus? I think King of Pentacles, you're really focused on your stability, the commitment you have to your partner, providing for them, helping them feel safe and secure in this relationship, holding steady. If you are not dating or in a relationship right now, this is still a primary focus. You are still trying to gain stability. You are still trying to get your shit in order so that you feel like you have something to offer whomever you choose to date or see in the future. That may be very, very important to you at this time. Definitely, it's a priority just in general. You feel like it'll help you in your love life, but it's important to you anyway. It's like you got to get your shit together, and that's how you may be feeling at the moment. Where's my thingy-majiggy? Smokies. Cheers. Good morning, sir or ma'am. Sir or ma'am or they. All right, let's move on to Gemini. What is going on with Gemini over the next week? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter? What is going on with Gemini over the next week? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter? Gemini, you have the Empress here. So you're entering into a new phase in your life. Some of you may be having a little struggle or delay getting things off the ground, but don't let that make you lose heart or throw up your hands and give up. But this is a new and fertile time in your life. Note the word fertile. So it's a good time. Hey, it's spring. Go to your garden, plant your seeds. It is also a very fertile time for our humans. Let's say it's mating season. What am I talking about? All the seasons are mating season. Anyways, basically, you are likely to get pregnant at this time if you don't use protection, be it you or the person you're with. So definitely be careful. Use protection if that's not something that you want. If you or your partner are not pregnant, you may be finding out about somebody else in your life that is pregnant. Perhaps you're spending more time with your mom. just kind of taking on these maternal energies of like nurturing and encouragement and making people feel safe. Good vibes, good vibes. All right, let's see what is going on in your love life, Gemini. What is going on in Gemini's love life? What is up with Gemini over the next week? Gemini, you have the Five of Wands. So you're very torn, very conflicted, not entirely sure how you feel about what's going on. If you're single, you may be feeling like you have a lot of people competing for the person that you have feelings for, the object of your affection and attention. You may feel like you have a lot of competition and be somewhat insecure about whether or not to move forward because of that. Like, you may be concerned that you won't be sticking out amongst the crowd, so you don't really know entirely how to move forward, how to get this thing going, how to start. Um, if you are already in a relationship, you may be confused about how to continue. Like, if there's been difficulty, like there may have been a lot of conflict. Perhaps you and your partner have been arguing a lot or just misunderstanding each other a lot. And it's just led to a lot of conflicting ideas, perceptions, and communication. So this could be, a difficult time for some of you in regards to your love life. Good news is you're a survivor. You're a survivor. So even if you are in a situation, if you find yourself in a situation where you get rejected, I think that you will be able to bounce back from it. I don't think it's something that you're going to let drag you down to the bottom of the ocean, of the deepest depths of the ocean. I don't think you're going to let that happen. I think maybe that's happened in the past, but I don't think that's going to happen this time, because it's like, yeah, in some cases you're willing to fight for what you want, but at the same time, you're not willing to fight a battle that you will inevitably lose. Like, if this is not worth winning, a battle not worth winning, you are not willing to fight it. So it's like, say you and your partner care a lot about each other, but y'all just constantly misunderstand each other, you argue all the time, etc., etc. And everybody has issues, everybody has flaws, and a lot of that is your issues and flaws conflicting. Now the question is, can you live with it? Can you handle it? Can you handle this for the rest of your life? That's what you got to be honest with yourself. Like, can I really handle this for the rest of my life and not want to shoot myself in the fucking head? Like, there could be a situation where it's like, I love this person, I want to be with them forever, whatever, like, we will get through it. And then you get in it and you get in it for years, and then you realize, like, this whole time, like, you don't really get each other. You don't really get each other, and like, one or the other is not even trying to get the other person, and it's just like a pointless fight. It's pointless. What's worth fighting for when it's like constant misunderstanding, constant dismissal, all these like things that make you not like yourself or not feel confident and comfortable in a relationship. Is it worth fighting for? That's what you got to ask yourself. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Yes, I read all of the star signs, but you should also take into consideration your moon and rising sign, because you may actually identify with those a little bit more than your star sign. Very interesting how that happens, especially your rising sign. So, like, say my star sign is Leo, but my rising sign is Gemini. And my moon is in Cancer. So, if you know me and interact with me, I have more of the Cancer Gemini vibe, but the Leo vibe is there too. It's just kind of like buried. Awesome. Good stuff. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Cancer. All right. Let's see what's going on with Cancer over the next week. What is going on in Cancer's world over the next week? What kind of energy will Cancer encounter over the next week? Ten of Pentacles. All right. Extremely concerned with your home, the comfort of your home, your occupation, stability, being able to provide for your family, take care of your family, provide for the people that depend on you. You don't have people that depend on you, provide for the pets that depend on you. Just provide and be abundant. If this is not where you are now, this is your goal. This is your priority. This is what you are working towards, because Cancer, you love your family and you want to make sure your family is good. You will fight for your family, even if they aren't worth fighting for. Even if they seem like they aren't worth fighting for. It's one of those situations where, like, okay, I can say whatever I want, but once you start saying it, we got problems. One of those situations. And you may actually be dealing with some family issues at this time, unfortunately, but there is that vibe, like, okay, this shit, but this is my family, and if you got something to say, there's going to be issues, unless you're trying to give me a better perspective on how to deal with things. Like, don't come in here and talk a mess about my people, because we're going to get through this. Like, how long are you going to be around? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can come and go. How long are you going to be around? And then while you're here, you're going to talk shit about my people? Take your ass on. That's where you're at. That's where you're at. Definitely focus on your family, your stability, your friends, providing for yourself. If you don't have that going on right now, if you're kind of struggling, it's your priority. It's your number one priority. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Cancer. What is going on in your love life, Cancer? What kind of energy will you encounter? All right, Cancer, you have the Three of Wands. So with the Three of Wands, you may want to have a conversation with somebody, but it may be you may be in a situation where you're kind of waiting to hear back from this person, or you haven't been speaking to each other for a while. So it's like this conversation is on hold. It may be on hold for some of you people, which is very, very frustrating, because this could be a very pivotal conversation. This could be that conversation of should I stay or should I go? It's just very important. Even if it's not should I stay or should I go, we need to talk about this so that we can get down to what the root of the issue is and work through it. Communication is so important to a healthy relationship, because nobody's perfect. You can't read each other's minds. Well, some people can, but not everybody can. You can't read each other's minds. And it's like, if misunderstandings happen, you got to talk it out so that the same things don't happen anymore. And if they do, still, it's like one of those things where you can't change it if you don't acknowledge it. And if you do it all the time, if it's habit, it's going to take a little bit to break the habit. It doesn't mean that it's unbreakable. It's just going to take a little bit. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. But yeah, if you are in a relationship, and again, maybe you and your partner haven't had the most stability right lately, you feel like there needs to be a conversation about this to work things out. Just in general, there's a very important conversation. Whether you are with a person, committed to person, dating somebody, or have somebody that maybe in the past you haven't talked to in a while, and perhaps there were things that were left unsaid, that kind of stuff. You may have a longing or desire for that communication, and some of you may actually get it. Alrighty then. That's what you guys are saying again. There you go. I go with the big trouble. If I stay, will be double. Okay, I think I fucked that up. That's okay. Let's see what's going on with my Leos. What is going on with Leo over the next week? What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? What is going on with Leo? What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? Psycho killer. Four of Pentacles. So right now you're kind of keeping yourself, you're holding back, you're not saying everything. Some of you may be very focused on spending money. You're just not you're being very frugal. You're not really giving of your time or your energy or your money. You're just not feeling very giving at the moment. You may be feeling very selfish. And in some situations, this could be toxic. But in other situations, you need to be selfish. People think Leos are so selfish and, arrogant and all this stuff. But, sometimes they do put other people first. A lot of times. When they care about people a lot, they do put them first. And it can be a drain on their energy. And in some situations, they don't get the attention that they crave. Because Leos do crave attention, but they don't always ask for it. Okay, so in some instances, that's not happening. And, they're just pulling back, just in general. Some of you may be feeling like you're being taken for granted, whatever you're doing, not necessarily just your relationship, whatever you're engaged in, be it with your family, your job, or whatever. Feel like you're being taken for granted, so you're holding back, you're not going as hard as you have been. Self-care, again, back to like that, sometimes Leo, you do have to be selfish. That's like one of the, like you do, and don't be ashamed. And I think that's where people get things misconstrued, because it kind of goes one way or the other. Either, it borderlines arrogance and just very negative things, very, very negative things, where you truly need to pamper yourself because nobody else is, And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If anything, it's better to pamper yourself than depend on somebody else to do it for you. All right, let's see what's going on in Leo's love life. Leo, you have the Ace of Swords. I feel like this signifies another very important conversation, very, very brutally honest, whether it either happens or it needs to happen. It needs to happen. There's some truth that needs to come out. You may be feeling like your partner has been lying to you, holding something back, or maybe you haven't quite been saying something. I mean, we do have the Four of Pentacles energy here. General energy also affects the love energy. So just in general, you're holding back. So you may be kind of holding back from speaking your truth. I don't know if that's a good thing. I think it really depends on your situation. But if you are the type of person I just described that is always giving everybody else the royal treatment but not getting it back, you're just like, you're at a point where, you don't even really want to talk about it. I think you're just at a point where you're over it, you're done, and you are cutting that shit free. Some of you, like, you may not even want to talk about it. You may just be like, you know what, screw this, I'm moving on. But others of you, if you are in a partnership that you truly cherish and appreciate, it would be beneficial to let your partner know, hey, I need a little attention. I like having attention. If I don't get this attention, it makes me not feel like I'm loved. And come off so needy. It really can. But everybody's different. Some people, their love language is, I don't have any emotions. What are you talking about? I'm going to hold it back. And other people are like, I need to see your emotions. And I need to see that your emotions towards me are freaking awesome. And I need to hear you express it because you don't show it. Like that type of thing. You got to love your partner's love language and they need to know yours. And they can't know yours if you don't explain it to them. Not only that, it's through this process that you will be able to figure out who you should or should not be with. Because it's like if you are asking blatantly, indirectly, and politely for what you want, trying to teach your partner your love language, and they're still just not quite getting it, then it's time to move. Okay, if you're not quite getting it, all right, that happens. But if you refuse to try to, if they ain't even trying to, like, come on, move on, because somebody will treat you like royalty. Okay? Don't settle for less. I'm just saying, just because somebody's telling you no, nobody else is going to treat you the way I do, nobody else is going to love you the way I do, now that's some bullshit. Especially if they're treating you like crap. The people are rare, but they're out there. All right? Okay. Let's move on to my Virgos. Interesting. I've never heard that before. Okay, what is going on, Virgo? What is up with my Virgos? Speaking of, if you are primarily concerned with, I'm just saying this because this is where my Venus is located. It's located in Virgo. So if you are primarily interested in what's going on in your love life, pay extra attention to wherever your Venus is located. All right, so let's see what kind of energy is going on with the Virgo over the next week. What is going on with Virgo? The Devil. Virgo. You are indulging. This indulgence can manifest itself in many, many different ways. Unfortunately, in some situations, you may be going overboard. In which case, you need to be wary because this could really fuck you up. This could really drag you down. You could really lose yourself in this. Really lose yourself in this, especially if it's drugs and alcohol or alcohol. You can really fall down that pit really quick, especially with alcohol, because people don't really acknowledge or speak on how detrimental it can be to a person's body, health, and life. They don't talk about it that way, but I feel like it's even more dangerous, more common because it's easily accessible, it's legal, it's considered normal to have a drink after work every day or something like that. Very easy to get to the point where you need that drink after work and you need a couple more drinks, so be very wary, very careful. Not trying to sit here and sound all preachy and like a goody two shoes, yada yada yada. Explore, have fun, be careful, because right now you are extremely vulnerable to these indulgences. You're extremely vulnerable to getting tied up in this mess. So just be very, very careful. This doesn't have to just be drugs and alcohol. You could be, getting frisky. It could be overindulgence in sex, and in which case, at least be safe about it. Wear condoms, be safe. Be safe about it, okay? If you don't care about yourself, I mean, at least try to be considerate of other people. But I know that can be hard because if somebody doesn't care about themselves, how are they going to care about other people? Anyway, there are also some situations where you can't stop thinking about something. There is something that is on your mind. You can't stop thinking about it. You're obsessing over it. It's consuming you and it's driving you crazy. You want nothing more than to stop thinking about this so much. You don't want to think about this so much. You don't want to be caught up in this. And it's part of the reason why you may be indulging, because it takes your mind off of this. You don't want to think about it. And like when you're not doing these other things, you can't stop thinking about it. So some of you may be having a difficult time with that. I think in some situations where this can be transmuted in a positive way is if like you become obsessed with some sort of subject of that you can study and learn more and more about, and just absolutely consumed by that. That's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you're furthering your education or doing something that is going to help you in your line of work. Okay. Beware of toxic people that you are dealing with. Since we are speaking generally, this is not just romantically, this is the people around you, friends, family, co-workers. You may be having a hard time letting some people go, or accepting the fact that you gotta let some people go. But it's time. You gotta let it go because it's just going to drag you down. They're just going to drag you down. They're going to try to make you miserable with them. And if you care enough about them, it'll work. So you need to be careful. Keep your distance. Boundaries. Right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Virgo. What is going on in Virgo's love life? We have the Nine of Wands. So you really are trying to let go of toxic relationships and toxic behaviors within your relationships. Some of this stuff happened a really, really long time ago, but you've been holding on to it, and it's time to let go. I think that with some of you, through this obsessing over things, you could be obsessing over things that have happened in the past or happened in your relationship in the past. You may come to a greater understanding. Like you may be like obsessing over this so much and not sure why, and then all of a sudden, like after a week or so, you have a light bulb go off, and it all makes sense. And it allows you to see the situation in a different way, in which allows you to let it go, which is necessary for you to have a successful love life, for you to have a healthy relationship. If you are continuing on in a relationship with a partner, in order for you guys to be able to survive, you got to let this shit go. Now, do not mistake me. Letting shit go does not mean ignoring it. Letting shit go does not mean acting like it never happened. These things need to be acknowledged, addressed, and accountability needs to be taken. But after that, it needs to be let go. You need to let it go, because you keep holding on to it. You're just not going to progress in your relationship. If you're single, very, very similar. All the shit that's happened with people in the past, all the shit that's built up over the years, it's time to let that go. It's time to let that go. If you want to ever have a chance at having a real relationship, a true connection with somebody, you gotta let this shit go. Because otherwise, it's just gonna drag you down. It really is just gonna drag you down. Like, your partner doesn't even have to be toxic. you may end up being the toxic one because you're so hung up on these things that have happened that you're not able to see what's really in front of you or appreciate that. So definitely some reflecting that needs to go on. Definitely you need to cut some things out. And there are some relationships that will come to an end. There are, because there is the realization that this person is toxic, this person is unhealthy, and they are dragging me down with them. And if, like, yeah, they're dragging, if you, it's like, even if you are starting to do something with your life, move forward with your life, something they say or do, it's like they're trying to drag you back down. They want you to stay on their level. So even if you improving your life means their life is improved, they still, like, it's not that they don't want their life to improve. They don't want you to be doing better than them. It's like an ego thing. Fucking weird, man. People are weird. Okay, on that note, I'm gonna move on. People are fucking weird, man. Thank you so much. I like you, Sony 420. I appreciate you. See you again soon, I'm sure. Alrighty, moving on to my Libras. Okay, what's going on with Libra? What is going on with Libra over the next week? What kind of energy will Libra encounter? What is going on with my Libras? Excuse me. Page of Pentacles. So, you are at a point in your life where you are, well, you have a seed that is being planted, literally and metaphorically. I mean, it's March, spring has sprung. Some of you may be, working in your garden. Others of you may be having a lot of new ideas that you want to implement into your work, things that you were working on. You may be seeing some things, some results of something that you have been working on for quite some time, which is very exciting because I feel like if you've been working on it for a while, you're starting to worry that you weren't going to see the results of what you've been doing, what you've been putting work into, almost to the point where you were about ready to give up. But now that you see that there is progress being made, even though it's slow, you're going to try to pump the brakes and nurture this. Some of you may be having some important conversations with other people, and it's going to initiate a new connection. And this doesn't necessarily mean a romantic connection. It just means like a greater understanding of somebody. You don't have to be romantically involved to have a greater understanding of somebody. Matter of fact, some of my friends have understood me more than any of the people I've ever dated. So, there's that. And I'm sure it's like that with many, many, many other people. Well, if you're lucky enough to have a really good friend that you can completely 150% be yourself with. I'm talking about the goofiest, weirdest, whatever. Once you have that, I mean, come on. I was going to say it's hard to settle for anything else, but some people don't recognize that. Some people don't recognize that they can be loved by a partner the way their friends love them. They can be seen by a partner the way their friends see them. They just settle because they want to be with that person instead of actually being compatible with that person. Because kind of goes back to the whole, I mean, everybody kind of speaks a different language, not just a different love language, just in general, everybody communicates differently. And what may confuse the fuck out of one person may be exceedingly clear to another. And it's just a matter of whether or not you're willing to communicate enough to gain a better understanding of each other. I feel like if you are, there will be a lot of growth. I feel like there will, something very positive is going to come out of this for both of you guys, or for all of you. If it's more than one person, I feel like through conversations that you have, it's going to give you more insight to your life, kind of like group therapy. You know, it's like somebody says something, and it like plants a seed in your mind. Keep thinking planting and seeds. Plants a seed in your mind, and as you think about it over time, again, you get a better understanding of something. You have an aha moment. Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life. What is going on in Libra's love life? Libra, you have the Knight of Cups. So some of you you're just really looking to have a good time. You are just looking to have a good time, maybe going out, pursuing somebody, not really taking things too seriously, but not being completely closed off to having a connection with somebody. So it's like, even if you're not intending to commit to somebody, you're still kind of treating them with care and respect, and like showing affection to them so that you can win them over, if you will. For some of you, so you can win them over, only for you to use them up and spit them out. It's not always like that. It's not going to be like that with everybody, but it is like that with some people. Like, that's why I had to say it. Some of you may be a little bit more considerate of that, but there are some of you that just will not give a fuck at all. You're just seeking pleasure. You're going out. You're having fun. If you connect with somebody, cool. That's cool, whatever, but you're not looking for it. If you are in a relationship, you may be attempting to be more affectionate with your partner and just kind of more expressive of your love. In some situations, this is not being received very, very well and could quickly turn. So it's like you're being loving, you're being affectionate. This person responds in a negative way, and you're like, well, fuck it. Why am I even doing this? Like, you don't care. Like, why am I even putting forth this effort or even trying when you don't even fucking care? Like, it doesn't matter anyway. So there could be some hard times in relationships because of that. Just kind of be careful, because I think that there may be situations where you think things are getting better, but they're not. All right, sorry. That's what I see, so gotta say it. All right, moving on to Scorpio. What is going on with my Scorpios over the next week? What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter? What is going on with Scorpio over the next week? Scorpio. What? Come on now. I just need one. Alright. Scorpio, you have the Six of Wands. So you know what you want, you're going after it. You may be competing with other people, but you're pretty confident. Like this isn't a competition where you have any doubt about your abilities. You're pretty confident in your abilities to do this. And you are good at what you do. And people are going to be recognizing and acknowledging that, which is going to be great. Because maybe you have felt like overlooked in the past. It's going to be exciting for you and worth celebrating. You might try to go out and have a good time, whatever. Like I said, it's worth celebrating. Some of you may be getting a lot of attention from a lot of different people. Unexpected, but celebrate it. If there has been any conflict between you and anybody else, I think that the other person is going to start to understand your perspective more and maybe come back and agree with you. So it's like if you guys had a blowout because you expressed something, they disagreed with it, they didn't like it, whatever, and y'all didn't talk, you just let it go, you just let it be instead of chasing after it to have a conversation. And then they come back around and they're like, well, actually, since you said that, that type of situation, which is so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's at the tip of my tongue. It's just, this isn't the word, but it's just so satisfying to you. You're like getting off on being right, basically. You're like, yeah, I know. Now, I will say some of you may have a harder time attaining victory. Just putting that out there. Now, let's see what's going on in your love life, Scorpio. What's going on in Scorpio's love life over the next week? Scorpio, you have the Six of Cups. So you're thinking a lot about the past. Be it your past relationships, your past with a specific person, things that have happened before with the current person. You're just very nostalgic right now. I don't know. I feel like you have met somebody that you feel extremely connected to at a very deep inner level. Like I feel as if you feel like you can be yourself with them. Like you can let them see what you don't let other people see. You can be innocent, like a child. The way pure, the way you were when you were a child before the world fucked you up. That personality you had. You feel like that could come out. You feel safe enough for that to come out with this person. And if you are no longer with this person, this could be something that you are missing and longing for, longing to have that connection again. Perhaps you thought that it's something that could happen with just anybody. Yeah, well, see what else is out there. I'm sure I'll have a similar connection with somebody else, And you may be coming to find that no, that's actually not true. It's actually not true. You've been trying to imitate this person that you're thinking of now. Finding people that are like them, be it with their looks or their personality. It's kind of sad because it's like it makes me sad for whomever you may be dating currently that you are trying to replace the other person with. Because if they have like genuine feelings for you, they're never going to be good enough because they're not the other person. And thus, they're never going to be happy in the relationship because you're never going to be happy in the relationship. And it's just not going to go over well. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. If you have some things that you're holding on to from the past, consider counseling, therapy, talk therapy. You got to get it out. You got to get it out. Get it out. Get it out of your head. Get it out. You don't even have to see a therapist. Write it. Write every single thing. Write everything you would never say. Tear it up and throw it away. And burn it. Either way, just get it out. Get all of that out, because otherwise it could be detrimental. It can hold you back. You don't want that, right? Some of you actually may be reconnecting with somebody from your past, a past love. Getting chilled. Get my tinglies. I don't like calling them chills unless I'm actually cold. Get my tinglies. Because they're different. They're different. But yeah, some of you may be reuniting with somebody from your past, and which you're really excited about. Very, very happy about. Very, very happy that they're paying attention to you. Yeah. So you may be struggling with some past issues, some past relationship issues, but if you are being reunited with somebody, you're so happy about it because you've wanted their attention for so long, and you finally have it. You know, finally have them back, and you have them back in a way that's even better. It's better than it was before. That's actually kind of beautiful, Scorpio. Okay, I'm going to move on that note because that's a nice little note to leave it on. We don't always have nice notes to leave things on. Excuse me. Alright, let's see what is going on with Sagittarius over the next week. What kind of energy will Sagittarius encounter over the next week? Queen of Swords. Ooh, Sagittarius, I hate to be anybody that pisses you off this week, because, I mean, you have no problem going off on a motherfucker anyway, just in general. You have no problem with it. They won't say it, you'll say it for them. That reminds me of my daughter. She's a Capricorn by like a couple hours, so I'm sure, so she's on the Sagittarius cusp. Anyways, I'll tell you after. But yeah, so you're gonna be being brutally honest. Kind of gonna come off as cold because you don't care if you hurt people's feelings. I said what I said. That's what you said. I said what I said and I meant it. There's nothing else to be said. Like, you don't care to hear their retort. It doesn't matter. You said what you said, and anything they say in response doesn't matter. Be careful with this, because that can be very, very close-minded. Be very, very close-minded. And it can be detrimental. Big time. Big time. Be a little bit more open-minded. I know you think you do, but you don't know it all. No, I think some of you may be doing a lot of reading at this time, maybe writing. If you're a writer, you may be coming off cold to other people, but that's because you're getting all your emotions out on paper. And if they're lucky, you'll get your anger out on paper too. Otherwise, hate to be on the other end of Sagittarius's anger. I'm just saying. I'm gonna put it at that. I have been. My mammy's a Sag, and my kid's on the cusp. Anyways, so yeah, you could be doing some education. You're trying to enlighten yourself. You are seeking out greater wisdom. You know that you don't know everything, and you want to know more. And you know that even when you learn more, you still won't learn everything. So right now, you're more focused on that. You're more focused on bettering yourself, your life, than your feelings or anybody else's feelings for that matter. Look, I'm saying that, but it's not that you're heartless. It's just at the very, 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 very bottom of the priority list. There's other shit going on. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Sagittarius. What's going on in Sagittarius's love life? Three of Cups. So some of you may be caught up in a love triangle, in which case you have no remorse. Don't really care how it affects either party. You just trying to have a good time. Because again, general energy affects all energy, including love energy. And if we have the Queen of Swords here, and the Queen of Swords really doesn't they're kind of detached from their emotions, along with the Three of Cups, where there's third party situation. Like, you're just having fun. You're just trying to have fun. You're just trying to have a good time. And not trying to get too involved. You're single, you're really just going out with your homies, trying to have a good time, meet people. Even if you don't have homies, you may be just trying to put yourself out there, and meet people. Maybe going to like speed dating or something like that. I don't know, just again trying to put yourself out there and meet people, because you do have a longing for connection. You just don't connect with very many people. It's hard to find people on your level. It's very hard for you to find people on your level. So you do keep things surface level for a while, until you figure out if you and this person can see things eye to eye. I think you are already in a relationship and there's no cheating going on. I think that you and your partner may be making up. Like, if y'all have any conflicts, arguments, etc., y'all are gonna get through it. Y'all are gonna make up sex, go out, have a good time, all the fun stuff, all the good stuff, all the fun stuff. Everything's gonna work out. And I think a lot of it has to do with your ability to detach from your emotions right now, because you're able to communicate about things as they are, as opposed to those things being fueled by raw passion. Can't think logically when things are like that. And wait till things calm down. All right, let's move on to Capricorn. Okay, what is going on with my Capricorns over the next week? What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter over the next week? What is going on with Capricorn? What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter over the next week? Capricorn, we have the Six of Swords. So with the Six of Swords here, you may be going on a vacation or a trip, traveling. Some of you are trying to move on from a difficult period in your life. Um, uh, it's very hard, very difficult time, but you also are at a point where you're understanding the lesson involved, like this need to happen. It was a blessing in disguise. You know, there are things that you have learned from this situation that you needed to learn, because not knowing these things has gotten you into trouble before. Um, some of you may be having a hard time leaving a situation, though. You may have a hard time leaving some things behind. Some of you could be moving to like a different city, state, or country. See what's going on in your love life, Capricorn. What's going on in Capricorn's love life over the next week? What's up with Capricorn? We have the Page of Pentacles. You may have met somebody recently that you feel a connection with. You would like to nurture this connection, continue to get to know them, and potentially build on a future relationship. Some of you may be dating. If you've been going through a difficult time with your partner, you're at a point where y'all are starting over. But honestly, I don't think like the period necessarily had to be difficult. You could have just been going through a certain period in your relationship. If you're with somebody for a long period of time, you evolve together, you grow together, and you experience things together. So you may have been dealing with something together for quite some time. That's over now, and you're at the start of something new. And it seems like it could potentially bring you closer together, but at the same time, it's a little too early to tell. But it's important to remember the things you have learned from your past relationship experiences and apply those things to the current relationship. Not necessarily the not so good things. Don't apply the not so good manipulative things to the relationship, but apply the awareness and knowledge of these things to it, you know, because that shit may not be there. But at the same time, if it is there, you'll be able to see it now, whereas you didn't see it before. And there are some of you where things just aren't going the way you want them to. You maybe want to talk to somebody. It's not happening. You may want to start a new relationship. It's not happening. So you're trying to start over in your love life, and you are just having difficulty with it, basically. So, oh, goodness. All right, let's move on to Aquarius. Since the dawn of the age of Aquarius. Let's see what's going on with Aquarius over the next week. What kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week? What is going on with Aquarius? Aquarius, you have Justice. Decision time. It's time to make a decision about what is going on in your life right now, what you should do moving forward. You may be dealing with some sort of contracts. These things need to be discussed. Be sure to read your contract in depth. Don't just scroll through it super fast because you want to hurry up and get things done. You need to read your contract in depth, check out the fine print, because that's where they get you. So definitely do that before you sign anything. Right now, you are trying to maintain a balance between your heart and your mind. You don't want to be too emotional, but you don't want to be too logical. You don't want to cut yourself off from your emotions. So you're trying to find a healthy balance, really. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Aquarius. What is going on in Aquarius's love life? Aquarius, you have the Four of Swords. So you're keeping to yourself. Um, if you're living with somebody, you're not really communicating with them very much. You're just keeping to yourself, separating yourself, um, working on healing. So whether it's difficulty in your current relationship or things that have happened in the past, these are things that have been on your mind, and you're trying to work through them because you are aware of how they get in the way and hold you back, not only in your love relationship, your love life, but also life in general. Um, you're starting to see how the things that have happened in relationships shape the way you react to certain things, and that it's not good. So you may be going within, working on yourself and working to heal this. There's nothing anybody else can do. There's nothing anybody else can do about this. It's all up to you, you know. And I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move to work on healing. It's only going to benefit you in the long run, whether you're in a relationship or not. It's only going to benefit you. I think there are some occasions where you might be finally coming out of this period, if you're already in it, but some of you aren't even in it yet. So it's going to be very important for you to have some me time right now, some alone time, some independence in a relationship. So if you are involved in a codependent relationship, this could cause conflict. Whether it's codependent or not, maybe just communicate with your spouse what's going on and that you need your space so they don't think that they did anything wrong, or whatever. Even if they did do something you're trying to think of, um, just the expression of I need space to process this stuff. It's very important to communicate these things. Very, very important. But it's even harder for people to recognize when they need it and just communicate that they need it and ask for it. I'm proud of you, Aquarius. That's good. It's really, really good. Pretty direct. Let's move on to Pisces. What's going on with Pisces? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What's going on with Pisces? We have the Queen of Pentacles. So you are good on your own. You have what it takes to be successful. You have what it takes to provide for yourself and to provide abundance for yourself and others. Not necessarily just money. It's be an abundance of love, an abundance of stability. Just people feel taken care of and nurtured when they're around you, and you like doing it. It's not something that you develop resentment about over time. It is part of your personality, really, to kind of look after others, to take care of others. And you feel weird when you're not looking out for others. If you see somebody struggling and you don't try to talk to them and make them feel better or reach out, you feel weird. You feel like you're doing yourself a disservice. It's extremely uncomfortable for you. I think in some situations you may be trying to put down some boundaries with here, because I feel like maybe there have been some people that are taking advantage of you, taking care of them. So you may be doing something out of the kindness of your heart, and they're just kind of, they're taking advantage of it, basically. ungrateful, always wanting more. It's never enough. And so you may need to lay down those boundaries. The thing is about a Queen of Pentacles is like you don't necessarily need anybody to get where you are. You're good on your own. Um, you can handle things on your own. You can fend people off on your own. Like, you're good. You're good. And if you're not good right now, if you're struggling with all of these things at the moment, you are actively trying to end the struggle and get back to good. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Pisces. What's going on in Pisces' love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What's up with Pisces? Pisces, you have the Knight of Wands. You may be going out and looking for a quick fling. You're not trying to have anything serious. You just want to have fun. Although there may be some of you who meet somebody very quickly and like it just speeds up. It's kind of got the love bomb vibes because y'all are so deeply into each other almost immediately. You're so infatuated with each other like almost immediately. Um, but it's like I think it's coming from a place where you do really care and you do really want to find somebody that you want to settle down with, and you're just at a point where you're not trying to dick around about it. You know what you want when you want it, and you want this person and they seem to want you, so you're going after it. There are some of you that aren't having much luck though. You're going out and trying to meet somebody, it's just not working out as well as you would like it to. And that's pretty frustrating for you because one, it's sexually frustrating. But two, it's emotionally frustrating because you really want to connect with somebody. You really, really do. And it's just not happening. So, I mean, all I can really say is you just need to keep taking care of yourself and I guess keep putting yourself out there, but also be careful that you don't fall for somebody who is taking advantage of the care that you offer the people you love. So just be careful with that, okay? All right, you guys, those are your readings for the next week. I hope they resonate for accuracy purposes. And I will see y'all again next week, okay, guys?